officially tapping in with my first official YouTube video. I just said official like 5 times. Whatevs. So, hi, I'm Alea, the Leia Bee on Instagram and everywhere else. So make sure you follow me. That's where I've been sharing the bulk of my journey, but planning on getting a little more detailed and was hoping to, you know, reach a few more people by trying something a little different. So we're here on YouTube to talk about second trimester of pregnancy. As you can tell, I'm out of breath and I did nothing but sit down and get comfortable. So there's a pregnancy symptom for you. And that's been the case since, man, maybe like 8 weeks. So we're gonna dive in. If you've been following me, you know that I did a Q&A for the first trimester. I'll make sure that I link that below so that you can see it. And my husband and I are currently pregnant with our first child. Excited is an understatement. Excited is an understatement, but I do a ton of research. I've done a ton of research to get to this point. So I wanted to make sure that I was paying it back. I was paying it forward. I was putting something back out there as I go through this experience and sharing that with you all. So I have my notes, I have my water. I'm going to just kind of go over a few things that have happened in the second trimester. I'm gonna get to some questions that have been asked on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll just kind of go from there. So let's get this thing started. So I'm currently 29 weeks pregnant with a baby boy. So we did find out the sex of our baby this trimester. We opted to do genetic testing. My husband was just like, hey, we're doing it, no questions. I was fine either way, so we just went ahead and dove in and got the testing done. So we found out the sex pretty early, long before our 20-week anatomy scan. We had a really fun gender reveal, which I'll also link below, here at our house with just some of our close loved ones, and a boy. So I started to feel like it was a boy just as I got closer and closer to us opening that envelope, but I wasn't sure. I had always said girl, really wanted a girl, and for no reason other than I'm just a super girly girl and I know girl stuff, so it seemed like it would be easier. Some of my close girlfriends have had baby girls recently, so I'm like, I'll know what to do. My mom was like, it doesn't matter, boy or girl, no new mom knows what she's doing, so throw that out the window. So I did. Was it a shock? Not really. Like I said, I kind of knew it was coming. My husband had been saying boy, 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 I mean years before we started trying. And so I will be honest, it did take a little while for me to reconcile my feelings around it. Mostly because of Black Lives Matter. Being like, raising a black son in America is freaking scary. Period. Full stop. I was a little terrified. A lot had gone on. There had been a ton of terrible things happening in Minneapolis where my husband and I met. So we still have a lot of family that were very connected to all the things that were going on in the black community there. So finding out that same week that we were having a baby boy was a little tough. I mean, it took some great encouragement from the people around me. It took some prayer, it took some reflection to really push those fears away. I have to go into this positively. I have to go into this thinking all the good thoughts that I can. Like, hey, this is my chance to raise an amazing black man who can do amazing things in society. So let's get away from the fear of it. Let's get away from the fear of that. Like, he's going to be fine. He's going to live a great full life. And once I was able to kind of let go of that fear of just raising a black boy in America, I really started to get excited about it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm still very much so a girly girl, but I hear that being a boy mom is where it's at, that the love they have for their mamas is unlike anything you've ever heard of. So I'm excited to experience that kind of love. And I guess excited to learn what it's like to raise a boy, because I really don't know. I have nephews and they're work. They're a lot of work. So just interested to see his personality. But with that, finding out the sex and everything, we were able to kind of start getting things moving, starting to solidify things like the registry and the nursery and what we wanted things to look like. So it's been a really exciting and busy second trimester for me. And I'll go next into like, how am I feeling? So everyone refers to the second trimester as the honeymoon phase. That was not the case for me. Not at all. I had about 2 or 3 weeks in the beginning where I got that burst of energy. I was like, ooh, I'm not getting slapped with the tire where I just must go lay down no matter what. That feeling had left a little bit, but a whole bunch of other stuff came with it. My first trimester was pretty easy, nothing like we expected, but the second one, I was starting to experience a lot of nausea. Learned pretty quickly at the suggestion of my husband that I was not eating enough. So weird thing, this pregnancy I have not really had an appetite. I expected to have a crazy appetite, all these crazy cravings. I didn't really have an appetite. So what I started to do was set a timer. Every 2.5, 3 hours, I would eat something. Even if I didn't feel hungry, even if I didn't feel like I wanted something, I needed to put something in my mouth. And once I started doing that, I found that the nausea was no longer a problem. So all those first trimester nightstand snacks, I kept those by the bed, made sure that I was eating those, but I also started doing a late night snack. So after dinner, having another snack before bed, and that really, really helped. So towards the end of the second trimester, I've had a couple of nights where I'm just like, wake up starving. Like downstairs in the kitchen at 4 a.m. eating whatever because I am just like, whoo, I am hungry. But that helps with the nausea. I also have ulcerative colitis. If you've been around, you know that. And first trimester, no issues, no signs, no nothing. Second trimester, your girl was flaring hard. So in the beginning of the second trimester, I had a couple of weeks where I was having an active flare, and that made it really, really difficult to just experience that on top of pregnancy. And so I was feeling blah. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I'm with my midwife like, hey, if I feel disgusting and my stomach is just like turns up, how is my baby doing? She was like, he is fine. He's not feeling any of that. So that stress and anxiety melted away, and that felt good. But we were able to identify that we were thinking that it was coming from the strain and the constipation that was causing the flare and the issues that I was having. So I did start taking magnesium and a probiotic at the suggestion of my chiropractor. And I have not had any issues with constipation since. I know it's gross, but that was like a plague in the first trimester. I have not had that in the second trimester. So that started kicking in, started drinking more water, got onto my suppositories. I know this is getting kind of gross. And we did that for about a month straight, and I haven't had any issues. Ever since then, I've been feeling amazing. No UC symptoms, all is well, life is good, I'm feeling good. So that was kind of a tough bump that we had in the second trimester. Let's see what else. Night sweats. Night sweats came with the second trimester as well. I was just hot. My husband would be all over the house like, you're freezing me out, I can't do this. I'm like, put on a sweatsuit, I'm burning up. And it was the same thing at night, and it could be because I sleep with 1,000 pillows. I don't know, but I've been super, super hot this trimester. So we've been keeping the AC low, hoping for the best, keeping some cold water by the bed. I put it in like a double wall tumbler so that it stays cold, and that has been helpful in the middle of the night to making sure that I'm getting some cold water to drink. So that's been good and helpful. Other things that popped up were some stretch marks. So I got a few really dark ones on my sides, maybe like 3 on each side. Woke up one day and they were just there, and I was like, oh, hey girls, how we doing? So yes, I use oil, I use butter, I do all that stuff at night and in the morning, but they still came. And like, we know from research, and we know that these are things that you can't prevent. There's no special cream that's gonna, you know, stop you from getting stretch marks. It does help with the itching, it helps with elasticity and stretching, but if you're gonna get them, you're gonna get them, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I don't even think I missed a beat. I was like, honey bun, look, we got some tiger stripes here. We got a few down here under the boobs, like everything and everybody is growing. And he was like, oh, how are you feeling about it? And I was like, I'm good. Loving how this bump is looking. It's feeling good. I feel good. I'm loving how I'm looking. Like, my baby is growing and healthy, and I'm good with it. I think had I not known that stretch marks wasn't something that I could prevent, was something that I can prevent, I probably would have been a little more upset. But it's like, hey, it's completely out of your control. It's a part of pregnancy. Look at it as like, hey, that's like, ooh, you're really joining the mommy club now. So that's how I took it and kind of got excited about it. Cellulite. So I've always had thick thighs. I've always been a thick girl. Like, that was nothing new. But those dimples got serious in pregnancy. I was like, okay, you guys are new. All right, you're here. So I talked to a couple of my friends about it, and they're like, yeah, girl. And some of us still have it hanging around. Again, it's part of the induction. I was like, whoo, I didn't know that pregnancy was gonna haze me like this, but you guys say it's worth it, so we'll see. Varicose veins. So they don't look like blue and purpley. They look really, they're like just dark, that I'm seeing kind of like on the insides of my knees and like right at the top of my calf muscles. Those also just showed up overnight at one point. So I haven't been stressing about anything. I know that I'm moisturized down. So I'm doing everything that I can do. I know a lot of this stuff, again, is just very common with pregnancy. So those are some symptoms and some things that I experienced in this second trimester thus far. So let's talk about the good though. I already told you that I was able to handle the constipation. So that's been amazing. I haven't had any issues there in the second trimester. I am loving how I look. And so that's making me very happy. I kind of had this vision of how pregnancy would look on me. A lot of other people did too, that they shared with me. But it's going great. I'm loving how I'm looking. I'm embracing this new pregnant body. Like I said, if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you know that I had to pack away my pre-pregnancy clothes a long time ago. I think I was wearing maternity leggings like week 10. I don't even know, like my stomach started showing pretty early. That bump was there. My jeans didn't fit. They were very uncomfortable. So I was like, hey, I'm here for comfort. I'm mostly in the house. I'm not even gonna worry about this. So mentally I had done the work. Mentally I was prepared for all the changes that was to come. And that was because I had started that internal journey of preparing myself for pregnancy and motherhood long before we started trying. And I think that's made all the difference. As all these new things come about, I'm able to just embrace it and get really excited about these changes, because that means my body's doing what it's supposed to do, my baby is growing, and good things are ahead. So really excited about that. Another really fun second trimester symptom has been my sex drive. So it's like once you're not, I guess, as tired and as nauseous, you're ready to go. And so I'm literally like, babe, how you feeling? He's like, it's 11 o'clock. I have a client, like, go sit down. I'm like, okay. So that's also been a really fun second trimester symptom that has come that we are enjoying. I know, TMI, but that's why we're here and we're family. So welcome. Another thing that I found in the second trimester is an amazing chiropractor. So again, if you were on the first trimester Q&A or you watched that, I was having some really bad back pain. found a chiropractor. She does prenatal, kids, family, babies, all the whole gamut. So she's all about making sure that you're aligned, you're ready for your baby to have an easy descent here into this earth. So she's been amazing. Since going with her, I have not had, you know, the back pain unless I'm doing too much. Like if I'm trying to do floors and laundry and dishes and everything else all at once, then it's a problem. But as long as I'm not trying to do the most, my back is like amazing. I don't have it anymore when I sleep. Questions. So food updates. In the first trimester, I had an aversion to salads and other kind of just raw veggies. That's not been the case. I've been eating salads and veggies and everything's really, really good, but I cannot do beef. So beef in any form, no go. And I mean like on the bathroom floor, sick. So beef, we found out really early on that is not something we can do anymore. So I'm actually scared to try it. So I don't even know, you know, if that's still the case, but it was so bad at the beginning of the second trimester that I was just like, we'll just stay away. No thank you with the beef. But outside of that, everything else has been pretty good. I haven't had a ton of crazy cravings. Watermelon, I can eat like a whole watermelon. It is so good to me. And it doesn't even have to be super sweet. Like pre-pregnancy, I'm just like, oh, if this watermelon isn't sweet, I don't want it. It's not like that. There was at some point my husband was like, you're eating water. Like it tastes like nothing. Cause I've been buying them the whole second trimester. They weren't in season. Like we're just now hitting summer. But watermelon has been everything I need in life, and so that's been super good. I am able to eat sweets again. I was not able to do sweets at all in the first trimester, so whew, that was rough because your girl has a sweet tooth. So I've now been able to do sweets. I still don't do too much. A little bit of thunder. Hope that doesn't mess this up for us. But I'm still not able to do too much, but a little bit here and there. Really, really good to me. I don't have any issues with it. Tummy doesn't get upset like it was in the first trimester, so that's nice. Other questions. So how did you pick the products? So this question came from someone who has seen our registry, and they're like, how'd you pick all these products? Again, I'm a super researcher. I've been researching and saving baby products as I've come across them for about a little over a year, maybe a year and a half. I knew we were gonna start trying soon, so I just kind of started paying attention to things. And so it starts with seeing something that looks cool or a recommendation or seeing another mom I know with it, and that goes on my list, and then I start researching it. From there, I looked at things like baby list and stuff like that, and just searching like best baby stroller or best infant car seat, things of that nature. So started the research from there, and then I would go to YouTube, Instagram, and try to find some tutorials of people that are actually using it. Not people that are just like, you know, paid to tell me that they like it or just website reviews, but true people that have been using it, they've used other things, and they can truly give me a good feel for what's going on. So go there. From there, then I went to YouTube and started kind of doing some things there. Once we got there, it made it on the list. So it was kind of like that. We had a list. Most things, like the bigger things, I had to go see them in person. So my husband and I took the full day when we did the anatomy scan, and we went to Bye Bye Baby because they have everything. And we were able to kind of touch and feel and set eyes on all the big stuff that was on our registry, and a lot of the small stuff too. And that was how we were able to finalize things. There were a few small things, like say the pack and play, that I had one, but when we saw something else in person, it was like, I don't like this or that about it, so let's do a quick little swap. So that helped when I had multiples of things that I couldn't decide. So that, like I said, so it was mostly reviews, recommendations, and then going to see it for myself is how I kind of decided on the things that we put on the registry. I went again through like different blogs, Pinterest, you know, books and everything, and just kind of went through, what do moms say they must have? What are the newborn must-haves? What are the baby must-haves? You know, those videos when I'm washing dishes, I have in the background all the things I didn't need as a new mom, you know, all the things I thought I would love that my baby hated. Things like that to start trying to round out what might we need, what products could we need, and what could we possibly do without. You know, some of the things that I'm like, everybody says babies are hit or miss with the bouncers and the swings. So I'm like, hey, let's find one that does both, and let's also not do a super expensive one. If he, you know, there's a potential for him not to like it, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on it. I think I'll take a look and I'll add the link below, but what we ended up using was the Graco one. It's a 2-in-1 bouncer and a swing. And it was pretty reasonably priced. I think it was around $100. So I'm like, this feels like something we can try. I'm not trying to go much higher than that for something he may absolutely hate. So that's kind of how I went about adding the products to our registry. We'll see how things go once he gets here, what he likes, what works for us, and then I'll be able to come back and kind of share some of that stuff with you guys as well. I already told you guys how I was feeling. Did anything surprise you? I think every day is a surprise. My friends will tell you that my favorite statement is like, whoo, this is so wild. Because every day is just this wild ride. You read about things, you hear about things, and you think you know what to expect. You don't. Nothing is like feeling and experiencing growing and creating life inside of your body. Like, I don't care what you've done, I don't care how strong or amazing you are, nothing feels like this. So it's like every day your body's doing something that you didn't quite expect, or it's something that they told you would happen, but it's like, didn't know it would feel like that. Like right here, I have this tingling sensation that I've had for weeks. My midwife is like, there's no organs, there's nothing there, that doesn't hurt. It's probably how he's laying or a piece of something. He's like putting pressure, taking it off. So that could be what you're feeling. She was like, as long as it stays right there, it's not painful, you're good. That's super weird. I feel it all day, every day. You know, little stuff like he likes to stick his little butt out, and I can feel this round, hard butt that he's just like leaning over, laying, and it's just nothing prepares you for those things. The kicks, the flutters, the Braxton Hicks. Oh my gosh. So I thought the baby was turning around and just moving a lot, and it happened when I was at one of my appointments. My midwife was like, oh sweetie, like that's a Braxton Hicks contraction, and I'm like, isn't it too early for this? And she's like, it's not. You're almost at the end of your second trimester. So Braxton Hicks, let me see, started happening, I think I was like 27 weeks. So really right at the end of this thing. And it's weird. It's really weird. It's just like a tightening sensation. I had really awful cramps growing up as a kid. So when I say it's not even a fraction of how terrible those cramps were, it's nothing. It's a tightening. Sometimes you can see your stomach like moving with the contraction, and then it's gone. And if I'm getting multiple ones, I'll get some water, have a seat, lay down. Most of the time it's I'm doing the most. It's time to cool it, so I am working on that too, just trying to spread out the things I need to do throughout the day so that there aren't any issues. So that was also something that's been crazy, but nothing prepares you for what this feels like. The emotions, there are days when looking at my husband just annoys me. And then there's other days when I'm almost in tears because he's at work. He goes to work 2 days a week, he's in the office. Otherwise, he's working from home. What is wrong with you, girl? He's gone for 8 hours. Like, stop it. And you're asleep for some of that time. It's crazy. It's unlike, I just can't even explain it. I'm just like, I just miss him so much. And then I'm like teary-eyed, and it's like, where is this coming from? Like, this is insane. So the hormones are a little crazy. I find myself letting the thunder pass. I find myself being way more emo than I ever was prior to, and that part is really weird. So I mean, other than that, there hasn't been a ton of crazy mood swings. I'm pretty aware of them, so if I'm just like not having a good day, I'm not gonna be answering the phone. I'm not gonna be trying to chit chat with people. I'll let my husband know like, hey, I'm not feeling it today, I'm feeling terrible, just so he knows what's up and I'm not just walking around with an attitude. Trying to communicate what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, because it's hard. You've never been there. And so he's also been like, whew, thought you were gonna be a nightmare. So glad I wasn't. But so far so good. But that part has kind of been unexpected and very surprising. Very surprising. I thought that I was just gonna be, I mean, huge. I thought I was gonna swell up everywhere. Like, I can still wear my ring, I can still fit my shoes. I was kind of expecting those things to happen. They haven't happened yet. You know, prayerfully they don't, but those were some things I was expecting, so surprised that that didn't happen. And then again, I thought I would have crazy cravings and just be hungry all the time, and that's not been the case for me. So you just learn that this is an interesting ride. It's a unique ride, and it's one unlike no one else has been on, even you if you've had other pregnancies. So I just try to roll with it. I try to be open and just take each day as it comes. That's why I am filming this second trimester video while I'm in the third trimester, because pregnancy happens and you just don't know how you're gonna feel. So here we are with that. Working out. Have I been working out? Not nearly as much as I thought I would, if we're being honest. Honestly, if I feel a burst of energy and I feel good, I'm using that time to either clean up the house, cook something, shoot some blog content. I'm using the times where I'm feeling good to do things that I feel like absolutely have to get done, and then working out comes secondary. I know that's probably not the best thing, but I am moving. I'm walking the dog every day, you know what I mean? I'm getting outside, getting some fresh air. I'm doing those things. I do have a treadmill, and I walk on the treadmill probably 2 times a week. And I meet a girlfriend of mine and we walk once a week and we get a couple of miles in. So I am getting some movement. I'm back to adding in my yoga because I'm feeling good and I'm not as tired. There was times when I was just yawning through the entire practice, and it was like, what are we doing? And I found that switching up the music and sometimes having more upbeat music versus that zen calming music, especially if I'm feeling like, ugh, I don't want to do this, has really helped me get through. So I've been doing that. I have done my stretches and, you know, different exercises on the birth ball and things like that has been happening throughout. But I have not been doing any intense working out. I do what feels right. I do what I feel like doing and trying to add some movement. So I am trying to be more consistent in this third trimester and keeping up the movement, doing a little more than I've been doing, trying to commit to 3 days of yoga a week and at least 1 day on the treadmill, because I'm just finding that to be a little less enjoyable than it was in the beginning. So that's kind of been happening from a workout perspective. Sleep, sleep don't come easy. So I am still using the bathroom a ton, and it doesn't matter what I do, I'm still going to the bathroom. So I was like, there's no need to try to like dehydrate myself or cut myself off. I'm gonna have to get up and pee anyways, so whatever, we're just gonna do this thing. So the restroom breaks have continued, but I am getting better sleep. So I've had a couple of nights where it might be like, oh, I just cannot get comfortable, and those seem to coincide with the times where he's growing and my stomach is stretching and I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I cannot get comfortable. During those nights, I've started to sleep in the guest room, and the guest room has a bed that's firmer, the mattress is firmer, and we have an adjustable base. So that's been super helpful. And I have my pillows still, I'm keeping it cool, making sure that I'm having a snack, and all that has been very helpful with my sleep. My husband said that I make a lot of noise when I sleep, like very audible. I'm like, I don't know, breathing, trying to get comfortable. I'm not always dreaming, so who knows what's going on, but that's happening. So sleep has been definitely not as easy as it was in the first trimester, and because it's not that pass out tired anymore, that gets you through the discomfort. But I hear that it comes back around, like you're gonna be so tired that you're passing out of exhaustion, so you don't even care if you're comfortable or not. So we'll see, but thankfully I'm getting a lot of time. So I mean, I'm in the bed by like 9 no matter what, and I'm staying in the bed till about 7:38. My body wakes me up around 7. If I have snacks, then I can lay there for a little bit. If I don't, I need to get up and eat or I'm gonna be sick. So sleep hasn't been awful just yet, but it's not been the greatest. So, oh, I didn't do any update on the anatomy scan. We have the anatomy scan at around 20 weeks. Everything was great. Baby boy's perfect, is what she said. A perfect 10 fingers, 10 toes. He didn't love them bothering him. I do the early morning appointment so that I don't have to wait. So he was sleeping, and when he woke up, he was like, get out of here. He was kicking the, punching and kicking the little Doppler, like, stop it. When she wouldn't stop, he just like completely turned his back. It was so funny and so cute, but everything was good. It was so exciting. Seeing him and seeing him move. And at the end of the second trimester, right at the very end, we did our 3D, 4D ultrasound. And when I tell you, my heart melted. Oh my goodness. Again, he was sleeping. He started with this little hand over his face. And once he woke up, he starts like, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, he is yelling at us. He is talking trash. And then he gave us the cutest smile, and I just wanted to snatch him out and kiss him all over. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So definitely recommend the 3D, 4D ultrasound. We've only done the one, and we've only had 2 other ultrasounds. My provider, they don't do a ton. They're like, we found that they lead to false positives or false, like all these issues, and you're seeing things that aren't really there. So we don't try to give them to you if you don't really need them. So this is, as long as everything goes well, that would have been our last one. So it was so exciting to see him. He looks like his dad. All this work I'm doing, and he looks like his dad. But maybe, we'll see. The midwife that I saw that day said that her baby came out looking exactly like the 3D, 4D ultrasound. So who knows, but it was so amazing to see him. It was beautiful. Everything went well. I took my glucose test during this second trimester. It was not as bad as everyone makes it seem. So it could be me. So I told you guys that I have ulcerative colitis, so that means that I have to do regular colonoscopies. And so because of that, I drink that nasty colonoscopy drink, and I'm like, this glucose drink is 10 times better than the colonoscopy drink. So it really just tastes like a flat soda, a flat fruit punch, generic fruit punch soda is what it tasted like. It was probably, I don't know, this big, maybe like the size of the mini Gatorades. I don't even know how many ounces. But drank it down. There was no issues, no fasting before. They want you to kind of do your regular things so they can really see how things are going. I was a little nervous about it. I don't know why. I guess because I'm not a good test taker. Not like you can study for this, but nothing you can do to prepare. But I was still a little nervous. So getting that back, that everything was normal, was really, really good. You know, a fun time. I celebrated with some Snickers. I think mini Snickers bars is what I celebrated with. Delish. So we had the glucose test. So let me see. I've met all the midwives at my practice, so feeling really comfortable and excited about what's to come. Like I said, we're now in the 3rd trimester, so this is like gearing up for our small baby shower, maternity photos, baby moon, getting his nursery together, and things of that nature. So once we hit the countdown of less than 100 days, I started feeling like, oh my gosh, he'll be here next week. So that kind of like pops me into gear and was like, let's start getting some things done. Again, I'm a planner. I have my list. I've been knocking things out along the way because planning and research calms me. It's how I don't feel stressed out. So having things done or knowing when I'm going to do things and how I'm going to do things has really helped keep me calm throughout this whole process. So I've been reading, I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos, and being able to see what to expect has really taken the fear out of things for me. I'm not at all afraid for birth anymore. I feel like I kind of know what I'm getting myself into. Do I know how it's gonna feel? No. But do I have some expectations of like what it's going to be like? Yes. And because I now am not going into this, you know, black hole of nothingness, I don't know what's gonna happen, I just know I get a baby on the end, I'm not afraid anymore. I'm actually really excited to see how we're gonna show up in labor and delivery. So we'll see. So stay tuned. Hope you subscribe so we can have some more chats like this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll respond to them, or you can DM me on Instagram or whatever. Instagram is @TheLeiaB_. So I'm here to just share my experience so that we can chit chat like good girlfriends. You can get the real about what's happening during pregnancy. I'll make sure that I have you know, some more fun things to come. Of course, 3rd trimester, you know, the fun nursery and like what I'm packing in my hospital bags and things of that nature. So really excited to get to know you all. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me and for tuning into my very first official YouTube video.